You are about to witness the future in video game entertainment. The TurboGrafx-16 Entertainment Super System.
Hey you guys, it's time for another First Five, and this one is about the TurboGrafx-16 Mini, which I've reviewed all the games for, and I reviewed the system itself. I did an unboxing video, and I wanted to break down the first 5 games that I would play once you finally are able to pick up the system. And I recognize that there have been some issues with its release, especially into the North American territories, but you will be able to get this someday. And I guarantee you, you're going to find a lot of very cool games in here, a lot of shooters, and it was very difficult for me to pick my first 5. But let's get into my first 5, and I think what we got to start with is Bomberman 94. This is a very cutesy, very colorful game, and of course, Bomberman has maybe overstayed his welcome, some would say, because there's been so many variations of Bomberman out there. But Bomberman was a character and a sort of game mechanic crafted by Hudson Soft, which was integral with the launch of this hardware platform. And it's an unbelievably fun experience, particularly if you are playing with other people, but it's still fun on its own. And I think why I chose Bomberman 94, there's also Bomberman 93 on this machine, is that it was really, really elaborate. There's lots of great little details. There's little characters that Bomberman can jump on. It's got a pretty interesting little single-player story campaign, which tries to stretch the formula out a little bit. And it's also a game that was not available in North America. You find it on the PC Engine side of this console. So it's got a little bit of that importing something special vibe. It looks great. It plays great. You're going to need at least another controller or the Turbo Tap in order to be able to get other people to play the multiplayer to its fullest. I had to put Bomberman on this list. Bomberman 94 is my pick. It's at number 5. Number 4 is Soldier Blade, and I could have picked a number of great shooters on here, but I like this one because it's just a really clean, very efficient, very accessible space shooter. Great technology that you're blasting away at all kinds of cool sort of mini ships and then motherships and bigger boss ships. Lots and lots of different projectiles to avoid and navigate around. And of course, an incredible collection of awesome power-ups that dole out all kinds of misery on the bad guys as you're dodging and weaving and flying your way up the screen. There's also Superstar Soldier in this collection on the PC Engine side of things. But Soldier Blade, I don't know, there's an efficiency and a cleanliness and a speed and an accessibility that I just really enjoy about this game. My choice for number 4 on the TurboGrafx-16 Mini is Soldier Blade. Awesome game. Coming in at number 3 out of my first 5 is Bonks Adventure. This was the game that started it all for the Bonk character. It's very accessible, beautiful visuals, some of the best music, and you know, the catchiest music that you're going to be humming long after you turn this machine off. As I expressed in my previous TurboGrafx-16 Mini videos, I didn't own the TurboGrafx-16 when it came out. I did pick up a Turbo Express along the way, and Bonks Adventure was the one cartridge that I had to have for it. And I love the game. It's very fun to play, even in 2020. Bonk's Revenge is also included in this collection of games, and there's Air Zonk, which is part of the family of the Bonk universe out there, the Bonk multiverse. Imagine that. Anyways, I love playing as this cutesy little caveman. I love all the cartoony bad guys that he has to Bonk, and I love all the fruit that you got to eat, and and I love that he basically is kind of like Gizmo from the Gremlins when he gets wet, but when Bonk eats meat, he just becomes this crazy man and doles out all kinds of damage and devastation. I love Bonks Adventure, and absolutely, you've got to play a Bonk game if you've got a TurboGrafx system for sure. That's why Bonks Adventure is number 3 for me. Number 2, and this is probably number 1 on a lot of your lists out there, is Castlevania Rondo of Blood. It's Japanese. It's only on the PC Engine side of the TurboGrafx-16 Mini. But, the gameplay crosses all language barriers. This is really seminal stuff. Very beautiful, incredible, gorgeous music and atmosphere. Lots of great power-ups that you're going to collect as you're just causing all kinds of damage and all of these supernatural beasties that are out to get you. There's lots of different routes that you can take as you progress into the game, and it is gorgeous. It just looks great. All the sprite work, all the visual flourish in there, and it was, it's based off of CD audio, so it just sounds incredible as well. I love Rondo of Blood, and of course this has been a game that has been remade and repackaged, but this is the definitive version of the game right here, and it's included on the TurboGrafx-16 Mini, and you've got to play. It's number 2. Now, number 1 for me is a game that I knew nothing about before I started diving into this collection, and it's very fun. It's called Ninja Spirit, and it's a lot like other ninja scrolling games that you might have played, like Ninja Gaiden or Shinobi, but there's something really kinetic and fun about this game, and kind of magical, right? Like, the power-ups that you get are so fantastical, the huge boss fights that you get into, the fact that ninjas are popping out of every nook and cranny on the screen. There's a lot going on. It's almost got a shooter, vibe to it because there's so much chaos and so many things happening. I've said this before, my favorite power-up that you get fairly early on in the game is just so cool. You get the ability to kind of clone other warriors, other versions of yourself into the fray, and then you're dodging and weaving and bouncing, and it's just this cascade of brutal sword swipes and projectiles just flying all over the screen. Beautifully handled. I love this game, and I think one of the main reasons why I think it's such a great first grab for me is the fact that it was a total surprise. This is a system that I knew very little about, and there are lots of standout titles on here, lots of other games that I definitely think are worth your time, but Ninja Spirit is the one that just jumps to the front of the pack, and that's why it is number 1. Now, if you haven't had a chance to check out my mini reviews of all of the TurboGrafx-16 video games, there's 60 games included on here. Please check that video out. I also did a review where I had John Linneman from Digital Foundry or DF Retro jump in and give us some of his insights as to why the TurboGrafx is so special. We got a video for that. This probably won't be the last you'll hear from me about the TurboGrafx, because now I have been indoctrinated and I know how awesome this machine was and how special some of these games are. So many cool games like Salamander and Sapphire and Dragon Spirit, where you get to fly around as a dragon shooting fireballs. Love that one. Love Alien Crush, the pinball game. But I had to narrow it down to my first 5, so there you go. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you like the channel, please consider giving us a subscribe. You can share this with whomever you would like. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back soon with some new content for you. And until then, play forever.